Hey everyone, it's Marla at Twinstrology. Thanks for joining me today. And I want to take a moment today to just say thank you to all of you. Thank you for being here week after week with me. Thank you for leaving your lovely comments and your feedback. Thank you for those of you that have purchased readings from me or done sessions with me. I'm very, very grateful for all of you. So, today we're going to talk about the Sagittarius full moon. And I'm being guided to do things a little bit differently. Could be for the time being, could be more permanently, but I'm being guided to write more and do less videos. So, I've written an article regarding the Sagittarius full moon. What I've decided to do is, at least a transitional time period, is to do a video reading the article for those of you that want to listen and you prefer to take your information in that way. And I'll also put a link to the article that's on my website for those of you that would maybe prefer to read something. And certainly, sometimes you can read things faster than you can listen to things. So I'm going to offer both ways to you, and you can decide which works out best for you. But I used to write a lot more articles when I first started doing this, which was, gosh, many years ago, 2015. Um, I almost always wrote the energy reports, and I also wrote a lot of articles pertaining to twin flames, and I used to channel information in articles. And I got away from that in the last couple of years, and I focused on videos. And yeah, my own inner guidance is calling me back to writing. If you've never visited my website, maybe you want to check that out because there are a lot of articles on there that, even though they are older, they're still very much pertinent to the twin flame journey, especially if you're kind of newer to the journey. Maybe you want to just take some time to go to my website and look around and see if there's anything on there that interests you. So now on to the article. So the article is called Inspiration from Above, the Sagittarius Full Moon Energy Update. Get ready for revelations and understanding about your path and direction in the beginning of June because powerful spiritual forces will be at play. For the past several months, life may have felt aimless or uncertain. It's as if the eclipses and the period before were an emptying, a release of the old self in preparation for a change in direction. Many timelines are converging, and this opens the door for new opportunities if you're willing to walk away from previously held limitations. The more you stagnate, the less opportunity you create. This is why the spiritual journey constantly pushes you out of your comfort zone. Yet when you let go of the old, you often don't have a clear picture of where you're headed. Again, this is by design. You're being trained to leap before the path is known. This builds your spiritual muscle and opens more options as opposed to when you hold back in indecision. But there is a period of time that is a void, which feels like you're hanging in the air and not sure where you're landing. You may even know what you want, but how to get there was still an unknown. Astrologically, the Taurus new moon was the jumping off point for your leap. With Mars and then Venus crossing Sirius, your consciousness took several turns up the spiral. It hasn't been easy though, and you may be questioning whether you actually did take that leap of faith because the amount of clearing that surrounded it. Every time we embody more light, we have to clear out old karmic energy. By now, you're probably feeling more centered for it. Still, clarity is likely something that has been slowly materializing. You've let go of some of your preconceived notions. But what is next if the old path is now crumbled? During the transitional energies from the Taurus new moon to Sagittarius full moon and on to the Gemini new moon, expect to receive new information, new connections, and celestial downloads that show you the way. During the Aries solar eclipse, I spoke about a rebalancing of the masculine and feminine. We had Mars and then Venus, which were not only ruling the nodal axis, but also the last 5 moons, including the eclipses. Now Venus and Mars are getting closer, and though they won't make an exact conjunction, you'll be feeling the changes. The masculine energy is undergoing an integration of more feminine. This is what is allowing the leap of faith and enhancing your creative abilities. The masculine energy within all of us is aligning with the heart. The masculine, which has had a death grip on control, is loosening up, trusting, allowing intuition, and going with the flow. Although everyone is going through this, those that physically embody the masculine energy are feeling it the most. For a long time, the masculine has been stuck in a karmic energy, whether relationship, behavior, or situation, and sometimes all three. Slowly and quietly, the masculine has been shifting in regards to this karma. They've been shown the truth, and while they have been building their strength in order to leave it behind, they are unclear about where they were going. They were unclear about how they were going to extract themselves. Now, at the Sagittarius full moon, the new pathway opens. Pretty much all year, Pluto is square the nodal axis, and this is facilitating transformation. Watch for a major culmination of this energy at Lionsgate. The south node is in Scorpio, being ruled by Pluto, so the focus is on the bridging of the past and the present. Experiences and situations are arising to clear out old dross in our field that's been creating limitations and blocking us from deeper soul embodiment and therefore more empowerment as creators. This is a time frame that begs the question, who are you? I mean, who are you really? Without the codependency and fear that keeps you fake and phony as hell. I'm not just referring to the masks we wear, but I mean this in a broad sense, as in, who are we in our soul? The truth is, most people don't really know because your soul and the experience that you have as a soul is so vast. Yet each time you shift up the ascension ladder, you get more information as to the real you and assistance in embodying it. This is where the feminine in all of us is, but especially those embodying the feminine are transforming. The codes coming in from Sirius are activating deeper soul connection and embodiment. You're discovering what makes you special and getting the next wave of inspiration regarding your purpose on Earth. This is emboldening the freeing of the masculine. As I always say, being a twin flame is a team effort. Hopefully you can see how the newly balanced, albeit shaky masculine and feminine are reaching a higher self-driven alignment that is pushing each of you into action. This will come through as divine inspiration. While each of you might be playing a different part and walking different paths, those paths are going to intersect very soon. This Sagittarius full moon is an activation which will deepen this connection to your higher self. Wherever you are individually, expect an increase not only in intuition, but in inspiration. Inspiration is one of the divine blessings bestowed on us through this deepening connection and integral to creation. We are each a piece of God on earth, charged with creating a new reality. We can only do that when we allow source-driven inspiration to flow through us via our higher self. The Sabian symbol for the new moon is a vast panorama of sand and time is unfolding. The pyramids and sphinx in their glory rise before the eye. The pyramids and sphinx still stand as one of Earth's greatest monuments, and they inspire us to this day. How were they built? Why are they there? What do they represent? We know they were inspired from God to guide humanity towards the desire to know God and to remind us that we, as creators, can do anything. There's also a reference here to the connection between the present and the past. The answer to who we are is not going to be discovered through logic and science. It's going to be unlocked through the integration of the past. We must suspend logic even and delve into the sacred mysteries that the pyramid and sphinx represent. Actually, in my Serious Shifts video about the energies for 2023, I prophesized that new information about the pyramids is likely to be disclosed this year. Already in March, a new chamber was discovered in the Great Pyramid at Khufu, and more discoveries will likely be forthcoming, possibly before the South Node shifts into Libra. The reference to the pyramids also points to higher consciousness. At the time the pyramids were created, Earth still existed in a higher dimensional state that made contact with higher beings and extraterrestrials possible. We were much more aware of who we were then, and these energetic currents are pushing us up to this place again as we integrate the higher frequencies now available to us. Often people are resistant to acknowledge alternate timelines and how much they impact us in the here and now. But the more you awaken, the more these timelines call you because they contain aspects of yourself you need to understand and integrate. It's very likely that between now and September, you'll be traveling to a location that you are connected to through timelines because, quote, time is unfolding, in the sense that we are crossing wires with the past, and this will activate a deeper sense of you as a multidimensional being. The Sabian symbol for the sun, opposite the moon and in the sign of Gemini, is two people at widely different points are in conversation with each other by means of telepathy. Like the Sabian for the moon, we are guided to consider that which is beyond time and space. I feel this can be read several ways. This telepathic conversation can be between you and your higher self or any spiritual being, between you and another person. This will especially resonate for those on the twin flame journey and also within the collective energy of humanity. The interesting thing is, the more we connect to our higher self, the more we discover our individuality while simultaneously we discover we are all one. Collectively, we all receive the same telepathic messages because we are all connected. What differs is how these same messages are presented to others, as they are interpreted through our individual perceptions. Over the next several weeks, expect lots of communication with different people. Not only are we in Gemini season, but the day after the full moon, Mercury forms a conjunction with Uranus on the Sabian. A moving finger points to significant passages in a book. Prepare for inspirational downloads and unexpected messages. Because the Sabian mentions a passage in a book, once again, we are directed to something that has already been written. In other words, a time past, alternate timelines, or the Akashic records. There could be a new or deep conversation coming with your twin flame, and you may feel this before it happens. The masculine is desiring to reconnect in a less guarded way, but in order for this reconnection to really work, the feminine also has to be able to be open and forgive, which comes from a healed internal masculine. For twin flames, you can expect your telepathic connection to increase because of the higher vibrations you now have the ability to hold. I previously mentioned alignment between twins, and this is enhancing telepathy for sure. You might even feel like your energetic connection has been quiet, but this could be because you are being rewired for this enhanced telepathy, or you're so aligned that there is no longer separation, and that's going to feel different because it's the tension that is felt more than the harmony. But communication will come through many sources, so stay open. Not only will you be receiving inspiration and psychic communication, but you will also get signs and synchronicities delivered to you so you can trust in the inspiration you are receiving. This is your creation, but it's also a collective creation, and there will be discussions and collaborations with others. Continuing with these powerful spiritual themes, Let's look at the Sabian symbols for the north and south node of the moon. The south node is a youth holding a lighted candle in a devotional ritual gains a sense of the great other world. It's time to remember our light and our connection beyond the material realm. The candlelight is the inspiration that invokes the dawn of understanding. Wherever you are feeling unsure with this full moon, you are suddenly sensing that a powerful destiny is unfolding for you, and you feel strong and clear enough to follow it without hesitation. The North Node message is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. When we follow our inspiration, we will be rewarded. You may find yourself in the process of changing patterns regarding money or other sources of abundance. It's also a time where wishes will be granted, especially if you've been wishing for changes in your life. Jupiter is still conjunct the North Node, which is like the Wheel of Fortune delivering a divine intervention. Venus is in Cancer on a Greek muse weighing newborn twins in golden scales. The muse is yet another reference to inspiration, and the newborns to a freshly birthed creation. Of course, the mention of twins could indicate that this is a time of rebirth for many twin flame unions. However, Venus is likely to represent some challenges during this period because she is moving into the space Mars just occupied, opposing Pluto and squaring the nodes. Mars brought a lot of shakeup to the masculine energy during that transit, and it's likely to hold some challenge now for the feminine as Venus travels through that corridor. It could be a time of feeling pressurized, nostalgic for past relationships, betrayal, grief, or unrequited love. While Mars was here, he was ruling the South Node, so lots of karmic energy was being cleared, helped by Saturn conjunct Karma in Pisces. But Venus rules the North Node and is connected to creativity, so there's reason to feel optimistic that this brings the needed inspiration to reach that pot of gold. This is going to be a period where you want to meditate and be in nature to facilitate connection to the higher realms. Be open to communication with others as well as what you might receive from books. Remember, inspiration has many functions. You might receive inspiration to be creative, to facilitate a conversation, to discover something about yourself, to have a new spiritual revelation, or to find the key that unlocks a problem that stumped you. You've taken the leap. Now follow wherever the inspiration leads you. Full moon blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and I'll speak to you again soon.